Alright guys, here we are for a second part of John Prescott's build for his office building. You may be wondering why we're looking at a no parking sign. It's because it's plastic, as you can see, and it's also, I don't know how well you guys can see this, but it's fairly stout. The reason why I chose to do this is because these are actually a bit cheaper than buying evergreen products. If you need plain plastic, this is the way to go. You'll save about $1.50 per sheet, and for this project, for this first building, it's going to be 3 of these sheets. So, John, I'm doing my best for you. Stay tuned and I'll show you all the cut out parts and a mock-up of what the building is going to look like. Stay tuned and I will be back in a few. Alright guys, show you the next step in this process. This is pretty stout plastic, as I mentioned before, so it's going to require quite a few passes with your hobby knife. You do the scribe and snap method. I have scribed this quite a bit already, so it should almost be ready to snap off. So let's see if we're ready. Okay, and just like that, fellas, and voila, you have one cut. I'm not going to show you all the cuts on here, but basically they'll all be the same. Stay tuned and I'll show you the next section. Be right back. Before I make any cuts, I always use my square to make sure all my pieces are cut straight and everything will line up when I get it all cut out. Anyhow, we'll continue with this project and I'll be back in a minute. Alright, as I mentioned, I always try and make sure everything is square, and I always try to use the factory cut, since supposedly they are square. So I adjust it and make it square and then put my cutting ruler on there, and then I will scribe it and snap it just as I showed you before. Alright guys, one thing you need to always remember applies to everything that you do. Measure twice, cut once. So this piece here is going to be one of my wall sections, and I need it to be 17 feet. And I don't know if you guys can actually see that, but it's 17 feet. I measure it in 3 different spots to make sure, and we are looking good. So we will do the same thing, scribe and snap. Be back in a minute. Alright, after everything has been cut out, you're going to wind up with these rough edges from the cut. So I just take my little Darter's nail file, or emery board, whatever you want to call it, and just slightly go over it like this to get that edge out of there. So when you put it together, you'll have a good clean fit. And I do this on all my parts. And it doesn't take very much, as long as you don't feel that burr there. Alright. And in case you're wondering what this line is for, when this is sitting in the building, the overhangs actually have a bit of an angle. So I'm using this as my guide to go along to the front piece so I can get my angle that I need. Anyhow, stay tuned and I'll show you all the parts that I have cut out. Alright guys, all my basic parts have been cut out. These are the 4 walls for the first floor. And these are the 4 walls for the second floor. And I have 3 of these cut out. 1, 2, and 3. This one here is the foundation. Either one of these could be the second floor, and one of them will be the roof. And the reason for the notches is so I can fit the stanchions in there. John's original deal was to have this overhang right here at 4 feet. But when I drew it out at first, the proportion to the size of the actual building, it didn't look right with the 4 feet here. So I went ahead and extended this to 6 foot. And of course, I need to modify my stanchions now. Anyhow, I'm going to try and do a mock-up of what this is going to look like. So stay tuned and I'll be back. Alright guys, this is what the mock-up's going to look like. Well, actually what the building is going to look like. Still got lots more work to do on it. The overhangs will be 6 foot here and go up to the stanchion. And then there'll be an angle. That's why that line is there, to give me my angle. And it'll be the same all the way around to this side. So anyhow, stay tuned, I guess, for the next part of this. This has been a very interesting build, and John, I'm really hoping you like this. At the top end, let's see if I can find a piece. This looks like a door. On the top end, there'll be another cover up here, and I think the total inches, as John requested, if you guys can see that. Let's see if I can get a better shot at that. Will be 6 inches tall. Anyhow, stay tuned for the next part of this build, and talk to you guys later. For now, folks, BNSF 6951 out.